Alright y'all, how you doing today? I figured I'd talk a little bit about my planting setup this year, 2025 planting setup, and more specifically about my new planter I'm running this year. So my grandma, she gave me two of these planters. They're old coal planters. One of them I think was originally designed to be cool with him, but I changed it up a little bit, and one of them, the hopper on it is pretty rusted out. So later I'm going to be showing you a video of rebuilding the hopper. But I took a piece off of it and sort of changed up a little bit of stuff. But I've got this one over here that I'm going to be planting with this year. So I'm going to show you some more information on the coal planters. It's really hard to find. So I haven't seen many videos about the information on the coal planters, and it's got a table inside the planter that I'm going to write it down, type it up, and show you a picture of it, because I've never seen a planter with this table inside of it. Most of the time they fade away, but it's your spacing for your gear ratios and everything that you need to know about your plant depth and plant spacing and everything. So I'll pop that up on the screen later. But I'll talk a little bit about the way I set my stuff up. So most of the time, the fertilizer distributors that I've seen, you put your fertilizer in here, and it's got a little shank that'll go behind your middle buster plow, or beside your middle buster plow, and it'll put the fertilizer in that way. Well, the way my grandpa's always done it, and he showed me this, and this is the way I've done it too, is you got your middle buster plow right here. You just take in behind it, and you run your hose from your fertilizer distributor, and you just wire it to the back of the middle buster plow. That way you don't have to have another shank going right there. So that's the way I do mine. Of course, I got my disc right here, and I need to adjust them a little bit, because I was noticing, and I'll show you this a little bit later, but yesterday I was trying to lay a few rows off and see how it would be. Well, I believe my right disc is a little bit deeper because it's pulling up more dirt than my left disc is, so I'm gonna have to lower my left disc because I can see that my rows are a little bit uneven. And yesterday when I was setting it up, it looked even, but I'm not sure. I need to look at that again, because it looks, my rows aren't quite as level and even as I would like them to be. Alright y'all, so this is the planter I'm working with right here. It says inside the top right here that this is a 700 line double hopper coal planter. So these old coal planters, they were actually made in Charlotte, North Carolina. And from what I've seen, apparently the coal manufacturing company still makes planters, but they do not make any double hoppers like this. They're real modern looking. But this is an old planter, and my grandma told me that my grandpa, Papa Gene, that they use this in their home garden back in the day. They lived down east, closer to Whiteville. But no, that's North Carolina for y'all out-of-staters. But they used this in their farm garden for quite a few years. But before he got it, it was his grandparents, which would be my great-great-grandparents, I believe. And the Lees, it was theirs. So I like the history on it. It's pretty cool. And of course, it's got a left side and a right side to these things. And I've still got some peas in here. I believe I was planting some peas yesterday and some snap beans. But the way it works is, of course, your seeds drop here, down here in the front. And this wheel, these heavy wheels back here, they're real heavy. But as they turn, it compresses the ground, compacts the seed back down over your plant, so you ain't got to go and cover your ground back up. And what I like about the setup I got here is I can lay my rows off, I can fertilize, I can plant my seed all in one run of the tractor. So you don't have to keep going back through. I just have to keep going back through disc and break it up real good. But anyways, these as these wheels turn, it turns these gears. And these gears turn my gears inside of the planter, of the hopper. It's a double hopper, so it's got a hopper on the left side, hopper on the right side. And these gears turn in opposite directions of each other. And what's pretty cool about these double hoppers is, if you wanted to, you could plant, say, beans and corn in the same row, companion planting they call it. But you could plant them both in the same row, and that way you got your corn coming up, your beans could grow up the vine, or you could plant soybeans maybe. My great uncle Billy was telling me that the way they used to do it was they would plant beans and corn in the same row, and soybeans, and come time to get the soybeans up, they'd take all the soybeans up, go through the rows, get all the soybeans up, and feed them to the pigs, and then of course the corn would stay there till it gets ready to pick. But he said, man, it was a lot of work. But the way, if you do it this way, you're increasing your yield. So you're gonna have, if you plant 2 different things in one row versus one, that's doubling the space you would have. So you take your wing nuts off. It's got these bolts, and there's a plate in each side. This one says left, the other one's gonna say right. And when you take that off, of course, you got your seed plate right here. So this right here is I believe it's a 16 hole plate. Now these plates, they're sort of hard to find. It depends on where you look. If you want to buy a new plate, I've seen online where you can buy them for $85 a piece. I don't want to pay that kind of money. So I was looking on Craigslist, and there was a fella that I seen that had some for sale. I think he wanted $20, $25 a piece for the plates. And so I messaged him about it, said I'd like to buy some. Well, before I could get to him buying some, I was talking to Uncle Billy, and he said that my great-grandpa had some down in the barn. So we went down there and got some seed plates, and that adds to the history of the planter. So it's my great-grandpa's seed plates that I'm working with here. But this is my pea plate. I use this for my snap beans and my peas, and it worked great for both of them. So I put that in the left hopper because it's a left-handed plate. It'll say on the back usually whether it's left-handed or right-handed, but you can just look at it and tell, because if the plate's spinning this way, it's going to carry the seeds up into the hole. If you put it on the right side, you're not going to get anything. So I did some 6-week peas like that, and it worked pretty good. So I've got a good amount of peanut plates, and I've never grown peanuts before. I ain't never messed with them, but I'm gonna try them this year. I bought me a pound of the Bailey peanuts, and I'm gonna try them this year. So we'll see how they go. They're a smaller peanut, from what I understand. So I've got all different sizes of peanut plates. I've got, I believe these are the small peanuts. I've got another small peanut plate. This is a larger peanut plate. And you can tell here, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this. I mean, I got corn plates, hybrid corn plates. I think that's a hybrid corn plate. They got sweet corn plates. I mean, just a bunch of different kinds. This one here is field peas. Now this is a 4-hole plate. So I'll show you right quick the sort of difference. Now you got a 4-hole plate, and I believe this is a 16-hole plate. Of course, these 16-hole plates are going to produce, plant seed a whole lot faster than these 4 plates. So that's one way that you can change your spacing. So you got a 4-hole pea plate or 16-hole pea plate. Your 16-hole pea plate is going to be planting 4 times the amount of seed. It's going to be a lot closer together. Just depends on how far you want your peas spaced and all. And that's where we come to this table right here. So I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. You can save that, as I've never seen a table like this, and it's really helpful, I believe. I've got a few gears right here, and it's going to show you the how the different sprocket gears and stuff, how they will change the amount of seed and how fast your seed gets out, and the spacing for it and everything. So I've got a few different gears that come with it. So I might change them out depending on what I need to run and what I'm planting. But that pretty much covers the setup. But I'm gonna be planting most everything with this year. I'm gonna try it. So, and then later I'll be showing you the video. Later this year, I'm gonna be rebuilding the old planter. I've got some galvanized metal. I'm gonna try and rebuild the hopper on it. So, because I can't really find a good hopper anywhere. They're either real expensive, and none of them's really in good shape. So I'm gonna just build me a new one for the other planter and salvage as much of it as I can. Probably repaint it. I'll show you that whole process and everything. So, but this is a cool planter, and I like the double hopper style. I might show you. I might be planting a few rows of beans and corn together or something like that. We'll see. But I'm gonna do a pound of peanuts this year with this planter, just to try out. Like I said, I ain't never done no peanuts, but we'll see how it goes. And I've got about 12-15 pounds of Dixie Lee peas that I'm gonna plant. So we'll see how that goes. I love me some good Dixie Lees, and we've got a sheller we're gonna be using this year. So it was my great great uncle's sheller, I believe. Me and my grandpa, we refurbished it and everything, got it working, got it running good. So I'll be showing you that later. Come harvest season, I'm ready for harvest season, but we got to plant first. But we'll be using that sheller, and that'll take a lot of the work out of it. So I hope to sell me some peas this year. But I done planted, I had just leftovers from last year. Dixie Lee's is what I did last, or not Dixie Lee's, 6 week, old-fashioned 6 week peas. That's what I did last year. So that's what I planted, about 3 or 4 rows of them, about 3 or 4 rows of contender snap beans. I always like the contenders. And I might give you some more snap bean seed and plant later, we'll see. But I just planted a few, I reckon they're experimental rows to see how this planter's gonna do and how my spacing turned out good and everything. But that's about it for the planter. I mean, I like this thing. It needed a little bit of work. Like I said, I took the arm that goes into my 1-point hitch system off of the old planter, and I put it on this one, bolted it up real good. This is a brand new to me, 1-point hitch system that I bought from a fella. They're hard to find too. I was searched far and wide. I called up Greens down by Fremont, and they had one, but they had recently sold it. So a fella I know sold me this one, and it's working real good for me, working real good. So I just attached it along with everything else I had. So it came with the belly bar right here, all the linkages, all the hookups I needed. So it's really come in handy. I like it. I've never been able to pull anything with no 140 because I haven't had the 1-point hitch hookup for it, but I got me a disc and been pulling that with it. Man, that thing cuts good, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. But and then pulling this planter with it, that's the main reason why I wanted the 1-point hitch system, was so I can pull the planter and do all that with it. But we'll see, I might get a few more attachments for it in the end. So it's working real good for me. I got the depth set about where I want it, I believe. We'll be able to tell that for sure when we see some stuff coming up. And one other thing I noticed when I was planting my snap beans and stuff was, well, like I said earlier, my ridges were a little bit cattywampus. They were a little bit higher on the right side, lower on the left. And I noticed my seeder was wanting to favor the left side too, my planter was. So I believe what we're going to do, and now that I look at it, I believe it is a little bit crooked that way. So you can tighten this up right here. It needs to be tightened some more. I'll tighten it up a little bit later. But if we tighten that side up right there, it should bring it up. So I think that looks about right. So of course it's gonna move a little bit in there because it ain't perfect in there, but it should be more level now. That way our planter's not off kilter. We don't want that. But I think it's gonna do all right for me this year. We'll see. So I'm anxious to see how my stand of peas and beans is coming up. I'll show you that later. But I believe it's gonna be a good season. I sure hope so. And I believe we're gonna do about 1 acre or so sweet corn, probably some. I don't know. I'm debating between doing the Silver Queen. I've always done Silver Queen or peaches and cream. I like both of them, but sell some of them. I got a pound of watermelon seed. Now I don't have any watermelon plates for this planter. What I do have is I've got some 4-hole corn plates, pea plates. I believe I got some 8-hole. Let's see, what is this? This is the corn plate. But I believe back at the barn I've got a, let's see. Yeah, I believe I've got a pumpkin plate, and I think that'll plant watermelons. The spacing's just got to be right for them because you don't want them too close together. But I believe I'm gonna plant a pound of Jubilees, so we'll see how that'll go. I don't know. I might direct seed that with my. I might use I got my old Earthway seeder. That's what I've been using. It's much nicer if you can use a tractor to pull it instead of pushing the Earthway. So we'll see. I might put it in these plates, plant a few rows like that, or I might just hand seed it. We'll see. But I'm ready to get them all planted. I noticed something the other day when I was looking back here behind my tractor. I was putting the plows back on because I was pulling my disc with the 1-point hitch, and I had to take my plows off to pull it because it was hitting the back plows. So I was putting my back plows on to lay some rows off, And I noticed that this bar right here was bent, and I'm not sure if that's from this one point hit system being here or if it's been like that, what exactly it is. But I'm gonna have to I don't really want to replace that bar, but I'm thinking I can take it over to the forge and bend it back into shape. So we'll see. I'll show you that a little bit later if we decide to do that. But I really don't want to replace the bar, but I might end up having to. But now I think part of my problem was the way I hooked it is, and that might have been what messed it up. But instead of hooking on the inside, I probably should have hooked on the outside. That way it's pulling towards the outside, and this one hitch system. These bars will not be in the way. But we'll see. This one's a little bit bent too, but I think it's bent like that. I'm not sure. A lot of the pins on this thing are missing. Nails have been put in their place, and it works, but it's not exactly right. So I'm gonna get it right. But it'll be a process, but we'll get it right. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all for watching this video, and just like and subscribe, and do all that good stuff.